Hello, everyone. Sorry for my hustle. Well, I'm not sorry. That's good. Before I begin, I'd like to thank a couple people. First, I'd like to thank the Academy. I hope little girls across America are watching this right now thinking they could do this too someday. Secondly, I'd like to thank my mother and father and my Uncle Rob, who I'd be remiss not to acknowledge for their unwavering support and passive-aggressive questions such as, how much are you talking about us in your speech? And third, I'd like to thank my band, Yonic Youth, and the Hamilton Theater Department, who taught me how to confidently speak into a microphone to a bunch of people who did not ask. Right. I'm Juliet Davidson. I use she, her pronouns, and I am your class-elected speaker. Thanks. Thank you. 3 years ago, I was your class-elected president, so I thank you for your confidence in me, and I sincerely hope I don't disappoint you. If I do, then blame the system, of course. Can't hate the player, hate the game. In all seriousness, I am honored to speak to you all at this beautiful and long ceremony, so I'll be brief. For those of you who don't know me, so nice to meet you. There is a high chance we will never see each other again. That also unfortunately goes for many of you whom I do know. So for the sake of making the most out of this experience, as we were taught to do here at Hamilton, let's pretend we've all been friends for years. In a way we have been. We do indeed all know each other. We know the same things. We know the beeping of a hill card upon entering a building. We know the thrill of joining a waitlist during class registration. We know the hesitancy to wave to someone on Martin's Way from like an awkward distance. And we know the housing selection process. I've lived in a Dunham quad. Shout out Dunham. Ooh, that was quiet. It's okay. I've lived in a single in Bundy, a single in Millbank, a double with a man in Babbitt, a double with a man in Millbank, a double with a woman in Babbitt, and I end in a dingle in Babbitt. For any of those here who have not gone through the Hamilton housing selection process, hello, we will also probably never see each other again. But a dingle is a double occupied by one person. It's one of the brilliant things we learned here. We learned that and so much stuff. Like how to swim. And for such a bargain, come on. Although I joke, I did really love it here, and I really loved where I lived. I mean, I still do. My appreciation for Hamilton, my love for the families I found in these spaces won't change when I leave. However, I do have this fear that most of what I love will be gone after today. Tomorrow, my room in Babbitt will no longer be the room I share with my fish. It'll be someone else's room because it'll be someone else's senior year, maybe someone else's fish, we'll see. I was on campus last summer during reunion weekend, wherein over 10 class years convened to celebrate their time here at Hamilton and to watch David Solomon do a live DJ set outside of Burke Library. Let's just say it's a good thing he's got a day job, huh? And a good lawyer. Now, settle down. If the administration was worried about the behaviors of graduating seniors during senior week, they surely underestimated the tendencies of adults reliving their campus college experiences. Y'all are crazy. They're just like us, except they have jobs and they're allowed to drink on Martin's Way. So maybe if we had real jobs, we could too. Can dream. One night that weekend, I was in my friend's suite when a group of young alumni strolled in. They're peering around the common room like they had been searching for it for years. And then they said, oh, we used to live here. And then one of them said, that's my old room. Like, I wonder what it looks like now. My first thought was that it looks like someone else lives there now, so a little weird. At the time, I swore that after graduating, I'd never stroll back to Darkside, attempting to peer into the concrete room of a 21-year-old. But until now, I had never imagined being so excited to come home. And although this next chapter is very exciting and offers the promising prospect of returning for reunion weekend, there's nothing more I want than to sit on that weird blue couch in the common room and say that I still live there, even if it's just for another day. Housing was my most formative experience at Hamilton, which might sound super pathetic. A beige room with Walmart furniture is like not why any of us came here, I would hope. But it's where we stayed. We came home to the silence of a still room, or often in my case, the chaos of 3 people trying to tell the same story at the same time. Or one roommate scrambling to finish an assignment while the others are scrolling on their phones talking about how much work they have to do. I was often the others in question. Finding community in spaces at Hamilton is necessitated by the fact that there are only so many. We live in a small world here, yet we are all able to find a space to call home, a space where we found community. I'm sure we're feeling super normal and not anxious about graduating. Just a skip, hop, and a jump out of Clinton into a job with a 401k. Easy. There's this one quote from Winnie the Pooh, the best, in which A.A. Milne writes, quote, "How lucky am I to have something so special that makes saying goodbye so hard." I don't love that quote, if I'm being frank. I do appreciate the sentiment of this nice bear person, but if I were to tweak it, I'd say, how lucky am I to have something so special that I don't have to say goodbye to? We're going, but we're not gone. Commons will still exist. Our rooms will still exist, and more importantly, our impact will still exist. Our community persists even if we aren't here. The work our class has done to revitalize spaces on campus, to welcome others into our home, even strangers, which may be not the best idea, that work will not be forgotten. So although we are moving out, we don't have to move on. We can linger in the sense of community we had even when we were alone in our rooms. We knew it was there, and all we had to do was walk down the hall, go to diner, and run into 15 people on the way there. We'll be gone, but we will not be forgotten. I won't forget you, even if I never see you again. Thank you.